This is Sony's brand new 10-20 f4 power zoom lens that is for the APS-C lineup, but because it's on the E mount, it'll work on your APS-C cameras or your full frame cameras. Now, already being someone that owns the original 10-18 lens that does not have the power zoom, but it does have the optical steady shot, which is the lens stabilization, which this one does not. Honestly, they are in weight very similar, but you can feel that extra little bit of a heaviness between the two. But if you're looking to probably pick up this particular lens, they did a great job with making it feel lightweight without it feeling super plasticky or super cheap, just honestly kind of rugged, if you will. So they're adding this to their new G lens in addition to having that extra button on there and being able to have the power zoom rocker, and then of course the manual focus autofocus switch on there. But that's all the buttons and everything that you're getting on here. The biggest seller on here is that you're going to get a little bit more of a minimum focusing distance on this lens. So if you're into vlogging, any kind of content creation, and you're holding stuff up to the lens, you'll be able to get stuff a little bit closer with this lens than you will on the OG. So when it comes to video, which is primarily how I use my cameras and my lenses, then if you're putting this on a gimbal, the one cool thing that you'll get on this lens and you won't get on the original 10-18 is that these will focus and zoom in and out, and you won't have to worry about the lens elements changing or protruding, which can tend to throw off the weight a little bit on the gimbal. So you don't have to worry about that, which I think they honestly did some good market research in that department. But I like this a lot. Now, if you don't have stabilization in your camera, like let's say a camera like the Sony a6400, you're absolutely going to need a gimbal. But if you have digital stabilization on your camera, then you're going to want to use it like we're doing on the ZV-E10. So let's swap to this and I'll show you what the difference between active and no stabilization looks like. So now we're on the 10-20 G lens, and at 10 millimeters with no stabilization on in the camera on the ZV-E10, then this is as wide as you would be able to get it. Now, if I wanted to turn on active, then at that point I lose some of the millimeters that I have on the side. So when you turn on active stabilization in the camera, then this is what you can expect when you're using this particular lens, especially for any kind of vlogging or something like that. Is definitely going to be pretty close up, which this is honestly a pretty good distance. Being super close to the camera, you still have a pretty wide scene to let people see what you're doing and see the background. So the 10-20 is a phenomenal lens, but you do want to make sure you have some kind of stabilization either in your camera or a gimbal or something like that. And if that's what you're going to be using this lens for, it will be fantastic, and honestly something that every creator is going to want in their kit.